Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sharmit podcast. Today I'm here with another special guest, Leonardo Del Valle Carrasquel. Leonardo is a seasoned system engineer, a well known Google developer expert, and a prominent voice in a global tech community. As a GDE, he has not only stayed at the forefront of the innovation but also forged connections with professionals around the world and creating a ripple effect of knowledge and inspiration. So, today in this episode, we will dive into his approach to decision making in cloud platforms and also explore the best practices for Google Workspace. But before we start the discussion, I would like to thank Leonardo for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us something about yourself.
Well, first, thank you for this invitation. For me, it's very interesting because when you are talking about you love, you can make people understand, and maybe you can inspire other people. This is a very good space, and I will think when you are no teaching, you are learning more because you understand what is good and what not. Thank you for the time. Thank you for find me and do this. Okay, well, what can I tell you about me? Well, I started this when I was a child because watching cartoons, watching technologies, watching things. I think about me like a, scientist because when I start something, I have to understand how it works, how we can change that, or how we can improvement the things.
Okay.
Okay, what we can do with this? Okay, and the technology opens that with me because I start with my brother-in-law working with computers, the first Apple's computers years ago, starting to open it, starting to black and white games. You know that means it's a lot of time, and I start to understand how the the, the technology works. And after that, my first work with technology was installing printers. Everyone's in this industry know how it works, but after that, I decided to study uh, system engineer. Everyone in my family says, "But why? Do you wanna do you wanna do a journalist or something social?" Maybe this is more social thing that I can do because it's how I understand the world, and maybe building the solution and understanding how works everything. Maybe I can share more my knowledge with the people. I start with the game, and now is my job and my passion right now.
Okay. All right. So let's take this discussion more into deeper form. So could you please start by telling a bit more about your background? Like what were those initial things that inspired you to start in IT industry, specifically in the Google Workspace domain?
Okay, what happened with Google and my history? Okay, I start with a I start working my first very good biggest job in the Google industry uh, uh, was in the banking. Was working in the banking industry, and I was working in innovation area. The
Okay.
innovation area has all permissions to make things, to think about how we can do this and how to. And we, in that moment, in that banking in Venezuela, we uh, we were working with all Google technologies, Gmail, AppScript, and started making solution with AppScript.
Okay.
And I understand how we can build solutions without a lot of payments because using the Google APIs, we can build solutions for the internal users and show to outside of the bank how you can have solutions for the clients. That I'm talking about 15 years ago. Google was very new for everyone and nobody knows how to do this and do that. And I start to work even with the Googlers asking about how we can do this, how we can do that. And that's what's my first step working with them. And I like it because that makes you think out of the box. Sounds
Right.
like a cliche, but that really works because we can build solutions out of the box, and everyone in the bank always uh, asking about uh, problems that you say, how we can build this, how we can, okay, we can solve that problem using this. Oh, it's very fast. Yes, it's faster than the other platforms. In that moment, everyone was opening to the iPhones. What the, the user used to works like a black and white, and
Mhm.
when you start to work with Google, you are working with colors because you have
Correct.
a lot of solutions to show.
Okay. All right. So, like with over 11 plus years of experience, because you have more than 11 years of experience. So, what would you say are the key milestone in your journey that shaped your career as a system engineer? Any specific memory?
Wow, the best thing that I remember when I start to check my history in this is learn, because
Okay.
in this industry when you start to learn about everything, you can understand that your your career is making for do things fast. You're working like an ER. That means today the technology is, for example, we have been talking about Java a lot
Mhm.
of years, but if we back to the future and check, Java is going to exist, but maybe has more children's, and you
Right.
have to understand new things. And when you are in this industry, you have to understand when you are leading a project, you need to understand all your team. What is the best feature about that team? What is the best skill of your team? How you can make this work? In my career, I start leading and designing a national scale citizens security systems in Venezuela, and I start to understand that you need to be prepared for the next step. That is the clue in this industry because you don't have, for example, Cisco industry now is not the top in studies for the new engineers. Everyone is studying the cloud, is studying AI, machine learning, and when you becoming a developer expert in Google, in this case, you understand that everyone has a solution for the same thing that the client needs. The way here is when you start to share your knowledge, you start to understand and talk with people from other countries, from other industries, you start to build a, a very stronger way to be a professional because everyone thinks this is just this is a job to play. We're playing it sometimes, but you need to understand that your job is going to impact is
Correct.
going to impact to another people, and the way is understand like a users and like a IT professional because we have two roles. We are users because we are living here in these machines. We're living here all the time. We are users, but when we are uh, builders of these solutions, we need understand like users, and nobody knows. Some people don't understand that we are users too, and we need to visualize how the user is going to work with our job because sometimes everyone close in a box and they say,
Right.
well, I know this, I don't want to share this, I am the only one who's going to share. No, 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 that's not how it works in this industry.
Okay, and here I want to touch one more thing. I remember our last conversation where you mentioned about the fire and the industry. So could you please share that relatable example with our audience? Like what is your thought on it, and how do you compare the fire and the industry?
Okay, this industry is like a fire
Okay.
because when we start to understand how it works, we need to share it because maybe the next the next guy is going to build a barbecue, and we're going to use it for cook. That sounds good because we're going to share the knowledge to understand how many ways we can use that fire. We can use
Correct.
that fire for warm. food. We can use it for build something because the metal needs a lot of fire to understand. And I have found a lot of people who don't want to share the knowledge, and I said that is a grown idea, because when you understand that I can share with you what I know, that spark is going to grow up, and
Right.
everyone is going to be warm behind that hit. And I think if you are sharing, you can learn more,
Yes.
because
Agree.
you can save life. In this industry, we are the only industry that can do a lot of things in the same way. We can save life. The fire can do that. We can open minds, because we are in the democracy options. We can open minds to new generations. The fires do that too. We can build uh, food, because now the machine learning, the AI is building food, and the fire helps to keep food. That means the the two options are very useful for us, and we're not different than that man in the cave, because we're looking for something. Every generation is looking for something, and the
Right.
technology is going to help us, because from the cave up to now, we always are in this biggest search. Well, one of the biggest companies is a search, and
Mhm.
our curiosity is building new steps every time.
Okay.
For that reason, I think we are like a fireman.
Right. And this is one of the most best, I would say, the example to showcase the knowledge sharing for the IT industry. Because if someone has this thing in the mind, then they can easily relate that yes, we have to share that fire so that others can utilize it in their own way, and then they later they can also share their knowledge with further members. So this is one of the best example you have shared here.
The best way is pass the fire to the next generation. This is the best option that we can do, because when we left this earth, they have the fire.
Correct. Right. Okay. So let's talk bit about the Google Developer Program or GD program, because you are also one of the well-known Google developer expert. So as a GD, means like you are involved in global tech community. So how has this role impacted your journey or helped you to connect with other professional and to stay at the top of the cutting edge of technology nowadays?
I think the best option is know new people.
Okay.
Like I now I have friends in Brazil. I have friends in India, like you. I have friends in London. I have friends even in Singapore. I have been talking with a lot of people, and one of the best things is, doesn't matter where you live. We have the same problems. We have the problems with the technology, the speed of technology. We have the problems with how faster can you be to compete with another, because this is a business, and you need to be faster and share knowledge at the international conference and workshops. Uh, this collaboration with global professionals makes you more. Uh, how can you say that if the sun don't sound, uh, you can be soft. What do you mean soft? You say, I don't have all the questions. You can
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, that is a good idea. I never thought in that way. Or for
Right.
example, what happened when you are thinking in a solution for a client, the access to these insights into the Google latest innovations, enable new trends and everything, you can understand how to talk with your clients, how to talk with your boss, even because sometimes, in my case, I am the only GDI for app shit in Latam, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only one who's speaking in Spanish and speaking in Portuguese. And when I have this conference, I have to share with the teams out of my country how we can build the solution, how we can share this knowledge, and then in 6 months it's going to change. And the best way to understand how works the GDE program is being a mentor, because you can upcoming talent to the tech community. You can embrace the new challenge for them, and you have a personal growth in this industry impact. Because what happened, we can build a future with the past knowledge. We need to build it thinking and imagining how we're going to build. I have three
Yeah.
ways to understand the AI. First, imagination. Everyone who's going to work with with interface with AI needs imagination. How I'm going to build this. Then I have to this I have decision. The second one, because I have to decide if the solution is the best. Not is ground or is bad. It's the best, because sometimes we have a lot of solution from AI. It doesn't matter what is the platform, the LLM. Don't worry. You need to understand. I have a decision about what is. You have to decide what is the best option for that. And the last one, you have to take an option, because you say, okay, I imagine this. This is how I want it, and this is where we're going to do. For that reason, in the program for experts in Google, you understand other minds, and that is the best option. Is share with others, because, for example, and I am not a Flutter expert, but I understand Flutter using AppSheet, because I can show them and tell to the people who's working with Flutter and other platforms, hey, prototype in AppSheet is faster. You can have a solution, and you can build a stronger solution when you
Yeah.
finish this definition.
Okay. All right, so let's take the discussion more into technical terms because you have expertise on various cloud services. So I just wanted to ask you one thing, like how do you approach the decision making process when choosing between GCP, AWS, and Microsoft Azure for the new projects? Let's say there is one new project, and how you are selecting the things.
Okay, the first step is understanding the project requirements,
Okay.
because the clients, we have two types of clients, the IT clients and no IT clients. The IT clients always have a path. We want this, we want another one.
Yeah.
And when you are analyzing the platform strengths, for GCP, for example, it's excellent for that application, real time analytics, and with query and data flow are were the best platforms to work with a lot of data, because it's native for them, and they have more steps than the competition. But for example, AWS is the best for AOT. You can
Hmm.
work with machine learning solutions. You can work with extensive service option, and you can build a bigger solution working with that. And for example, if you want a stronger solution, enterprise level integrations, because after 30 years in the marketplace, Azure understand what the solution needs for the Microsoft client. But in my experience, it's very important to understand the team experience who's going to receive this technology,
Right.
because they need to have the knowledge and to understand what they're going to save when we finish the project. Then the scalability, because is if the company is Google company, is a Google lover or is a AWS lover, and you put Azure platform, maybe they can upload that step. You need to understand how they work, and it's important understand the client background, because always they need the platforms to control something. I need this to control this. The IT team is your best support in the platform, because if they understand where you're building, they can let you run up in that platform. For me and my experience, that's the best way to do it.
Okay. All right. And as you just mentioned about the team collaboration, right? So how do Google Workspace tools compared with Microsoft 365 for collaborative team environment? Means, is there any specific industries or use cases you have witnessed that yes, like where one is completely superior to the other one, maybe the Google tool or the Microsoft 365 tool. So what is your opinion on that?
Okay, I have been working more than 15 years with Google. For me, now it's superior because it's exceptional for real collaboration, particularly in education, for startups, for new projects, and it's agile for a lot of solutions. You can find solution in Google. You can find solution this. You can build because this agility makes you stronger and the way to select an option. For example, I'm talking about AppSheet because I have been working these 5 years with this low code, and with Google you can change your level every time. For example, everyone in Microsoft Excel with macros they build solutions and they say, okay, I won't run up more because this is my top. But what happened? You go to the top of your knowledge in there.
Mm.
When you want to start the next level, the change is not horizontal, it's vertical. That means I need to understand new things. And if you are not IT team, if you are not technology lover, you are going to hate it. What happens when you are working with Google solutions? You are building solutions that makes you okay. What do you want to know today? Okay, I want to know how I can share my emails faster with Gemini. Okay, let's do it. Blah, blah. This is you are growing up faster in a horizontal line, and when you want to start a new step, it's easier because all is connected. We're living in the cloud now. The governability is very important. And I found clients, they have been 20 years working with Microsoft, and when they start to interacting with the cloud, they are lost. How work can it? Because they have 20 years working at the same way.
Yeah.
When you are in the Google environment, you can change faster because agility makes you uh, strong. Strong not because makes you how can I say like a water, like how say Bruce Lee. You are when you're working with Google, you are like water. You have move and
Right.
always Microsoft has been offer solutions for all industries, but in this time with machine learning, with AI, with all these options, Google is doing native for
Right.
the clients. And what happened? The IT community, the clients. That means we need to think. The new way to communication is understand the AI because I don't have to build a document with 100 pages. I just need to show you a dashboard with the numbers, red, green, and yellow. If you understand what you need to do, you can take a decision and you are going to do it faster than reading a book.
A book, right? Okay. All right. So, like Leonardo, like if we talk about the tools or API, so is there any specific tools or API in Google Workspace that excite you the most, or if it is there, like, what is the reason about that?
Okay, I'm going to build this in the two options.
Okay.
First one, the options for TI and everyone, and the option for everyone and IT.
Okay.
What is the difference? Okay, Google Apps Script helps a lot for a IT community because in Google Workspace helps you to connect, to prototype, and helps you a lot of things to understand how works another solution in this scale, and then start with a stronger solution. That's good for start with any solution in Google because it's native. The second one is BigQuery API. BigQuery API helps you to understand the data faster and more than you think. You can find frauds, you can find a lot of things just searching with BigQuery, and everyone needs understand the data because the data is the DNA of the companies. If you
Yeah.
don't understand how your DNA is working, you can have you can have a lot of data, but you can understand what do you have. The second one is the admin SDK because helps you to build solutions directly and manage all your security with your platform and your users. And now that's one of the best important things in this industry. When you are out and you are user or without big IT team, AppSheet because it helps you. What happened with the AppSheet and low code platforms? The low code platforms are helping users to share the business. Nobody understands the business better than the user.
Right.
The lawyers, the salesmen, everyone in that department understand better how works the business, and they can share with other clients internally or outside how works the business. Now that we are living faster and everyone is an emergency, the best way to understand is build a platform because we are talking in this language. This is the new language that we're using.
Agree.
We can share solutions just using a platform. Look this, use this, take this, and in that way you can share change. You can understand how change, and you can take a decision faster than 20 or 10 years ago. And the last one is Google Drive.
Hmm.
And everybody said, why Google Drive? Because we're not lineal thinkers. When we start to talk, we start to talk about the past, and now we finish in the future. And maybe sometime we can talk about the present. That is how we works our mind. That means that if you understand how to use Google Drive, you can understand how you can fix your work. This example is very good. When you put any document in Drive, you left them, and you how can I find this document? I don't remember. But if you remember a name, if you remember any metadata in that document, you can find it. If I go to any drive on
Hmm.
anybody here, you can find a disorder, but that is not bad because the chaos is a natural order in the universe, and the drive show that because you can find that. And why the API is very good because it can help you to show where is everything and share everything outside of your mind because drive is like a mind of everyone going to GCP, going to all platforms that you need. For that reason, drive is very important for IT teams and no IT teams.
For both, yeah, for both kind of users. Like if you are comfortable with the IT things, or if someone is from layman background, like if any layman person is there, they can also take the advantages and benefits from the drive service.
Okay, the benefits about drive, right?
Yeah.
Uh, well, you can understand from you can learn from the GDI program. You can understand from the experts, and Drive is the second platform in Google. The first one is Gmail, and the second one is Drive because everything is going to there.
Correct.
And I think it's easier because every head is a word, and everyone have to understand how to share all mine in that word.
Okay. All right. So now I would like to take few of your suggestion for those organizations. Let's say if someone is there are some organization who have heavily invested in Google Workspace. So what are those few best practices that you can recommend as a Google developer expert?
Okay, the first one is security and compliance. Because if you have a very strong security, you can control all implements and all data in your platform. Two-factor authentication, tokens, and everything. Um, uh, the next one, optimization, because everyone always ask. I saw a video. This guy was talking about Nintendo NES, and the oldest consoles. They say they didn't need optimization or upgrade or anything. What happened now? Even the bad guys are using AI for everything and build. And it's very important to understand when you are optimizing a platform, you are building more security, but you need to understand how to build it. And nobody is thinking in security, or because everyone is thinking about innovation. Innovation, change this, change that. They say, hey, about security. No, no, it's not time for security. It's time for innovation. And after that happens what happened yesterday, Christmas Eve, with American Airlines, that they were hacked, and because we thought in innovation, we think in we thought in security and automation. That happened in this one. Yeah, and I think the third is collaboration. When you are part on a group, a community, you can integrate workspace tools that can help you to connect with external platform, and the workflows are easy. Why? Because we don't have time to understand all kind of technologies. You need to be, if you first start with security, optimization, and the third, you can integrate these tools using the collaboration. You can share any version, and you have the control of the platform.
Okay, all right. So now I would like to talk bit about your influencer person. So looking back on your career, like who were the people who have guided you, inspired you, or supported you throughout your journey? Throughout your journey, yeah.
Okay, well, that is a very, very hard question. I have been thinking how 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 say that, but I'm watching life like a champers, because we have a lot of champers in our life, and the circumstance open new challenge every time. My first connect with the technology was with my Johnny, my first my brother-in-law. In that time, that means we're talking about more than 30 years ago, just playing with the games. Then when I started my professional career in the university, Rafael Lizardi, my first influencer, because he he makes me the kind of professional that I am. He was he was my first. He was like my father. He's not here now. He's passed away years ago. But he makes me the kind of professional who I am. And I have a phrase very important. He says, when the technology changes, you have more job. You need to understand that, and you need to be in the next step. After that champers in my life, I can find new influencers. Now my wife Claudia is helping me when the things are good and when the things are bad, because when the things are working, my wife always say, okay, this works, that's good, but we need to be prepared for the next step, because
Agree.
this is not going to be forever. And when the things are bad, always she always tell me, you are not so bad. You need to, you need to back again and try. And I have a lot of influence. I mean, we have influence in every roles that we have, like a son, like a brother, like even like a neighborhood. I have a very good friend in Peru now, Professor Ivan. He is working in a in technology department in there, and he always try to send me data and send the information for him. And I think the mentors always will be in your life, even if you don't understand how they work with you. And in my case, I am a student. I'm forever a student. I think that it's the best way to understand and lead every project, even in your life. You
Yeah,
have to understand you are a student, and when you are teaching another one, you are
learning as well.
learning too, because
Yeah,
everyone has something to share. If you think in that way, you can you can you can fight, because this is what every chapter of your life, understanding that well, how can do this, how can understand what's happened, and well, this is the biggest influence in my career.
okay, all right. So, thank you so much, Leonardo, for joining us in this episode and for sharing so much information related to Google Workspace and for sharing your expertise with us. It was nice talking to you, and I hope you also enjoyed the discussion. So, thank you once again for joining the show.
Oh, I really like it, and everyone here in this podcast needs to to watch every conversation because you can understand about hearing a real people. Because sometimes we see we're watching someone who says this. No, this guy said this. This guy said this. Mm, maybe something's not easier, but you can learn from real people. And I saw. Uh, a lot of your other podcasts, and they are real people, and that is the way. Please understand how are you doing. Share information. Try to be part of community, and this is the best way to grow up. This is the best way. Sharing and try to do it every time.
Yeah, it's time to share the fire, right?
Thank you for your time. For me, it's very important to have these spaces. And well, I think we can have another conversation in another time. I'm going to hold you. I'm going to call you.
All right. Thank you.